Hi, welcome back to another episode of This is Australia and Beyond. Because yes, of course, we're still in Corfu and we're bringing you some more shows about cooking. Now, today we're gonna have something really unusual, something that is a delicacy, something that not many people would like the look of it, but I tell you what, it's the best meze that you can have. Trust me. Right, now, let's go back to LA. I would like to have a look at some things over there as far as transport is concerned. Now, over there, the transport is incredible. The buses are really good. Brand new buses everywhere. You can take your bicycle to put in the front of the rack on the bus. And then there is also a ramp, a hydraulic ramp that comes out. And any disabled people in a wheelchair, they can go into the bus. I think that's amazing. That's the innovation of the Angelinos. I love these people. Okay, they're not in everything perfect, but it's very, very close. They are very close to be the perfect city that we're looking for. Now, the next thing, how do you travel if you don't want to get a bus? There's a train system. There is not a metro, an underground system, which is a pity. Such a big city and not an underground system. Just put a train underground. I mean, they did it in Athens, for God's sake. Look, in Athens, they put a metro. In Salonika, they do the same in Greece. We should do it in Sydney as well, guys. Come on. We have this dinosaur here taking all the space, and we don't have an underground in Sydney, underground train. They're doing another 8. They've got 8 machines in London digging more underground train lanes in London. They have the best system in the world. Why can't we just copy that? All right. I just want to talk about taxes. Why the taxes all around the world are the same, right? I thought Greece was bad. Yeah. In Greece, what they do, they don't take just one passenger. They ask another person, oh, where do you go? Oh, this place. Oh, yeah, come in. You could have 3 or 4 people going different directions in one taxi. It's illegal. But this is Greece. They do it. Then in Sydney, people that they don't speak English, the most expensive taxi in the world. The most expensive taxi in the world. People don't speak English. And they take you round and round and round and round and round. It happens. It happened to me so many times. Oh, sorry. And then we go to LA. And I thought, I support the local taxi industries. Guess what? I was expecting this big limo, huge car, American cars, you know, the American muscle with a big V8, boom, boom, you know, on a taxi, like we see in the movies. And what did they have? They call it Prius. I think we call it Prius in Australia. Actually, I wouldn't use the word Prius, which it's actually from a Greek word, means first, proton, which is number 1. It's not number 1. It might be good for the environment, but for a taxi. What if you have 4 people with a luggage just to go in that thing? Oh my God. Oh, you just couldn't do it. And the taxi drivers. I just got one guy, couldn't speak English. Hello? How are you? I'm going there. Unless he couldn't talk, maybe, I don't know. But he couldn't speak a word of English. And it's double the price. And he took me around. I was watching it on my GPS. They forget that we have GPS. Well, this guy didn't have a GPS. Believe it or not, he didn't have a GPS. Unbelievable. He didn't have a GPS in his taxi. Who doesn't have a GPS today? Okay, so he just took me around. It cost me about 15 American dollars. I gave him 20, and it took 5 minutes to give me the change. He wanted to keep it for a tip. $5 for a tip for no service. I don't mind tipping America. And you remember, you have to tip the American people because they don't make a lot of money, especially waiters and stuff like that. But I wouldn't give this guy $5. No way in the world. I was waiting that he actually had the change. I gave him $2 at the end, but he didn't worth it. And then I used Uber. Unbelievable. What do you want? Brand new cars, all clean, all beautiful. Once a big BMW came and picked me up. I just go into my GPS, I just call the Uber, you can see the car coming to you. What an incredible service. And you know what? It cost me half the price. Instead of $15, it was costing me $7 and $6. So why should I use a taxi? Please, taxi drivers, tell me, why should I use you? Find me a good reason. These guys that I used, 95% of my movements were with Uber. Not one single problem. Not one single problem. I used taxis twice. Both times I was very disappointed. So my advice, forget taxis. Overrated. They don't worth it. These little small boxes. Sorry, Toyota, but you can't use a price for a taxi. Unbelievable. These guys are just very helpful. Every driver that we actually spoke to, he was there for Hollywood. He was a singer, he was an actor, he was an extra, he was anything you could imagine, but he was driving Uber to make some money. Ooh. That's the sad side of Hollywood. So, Uber, number one. Sorry, I don't get any money from Uber. I just believe that we should try to use these guys as much as we can. Support them. Just give these taxis a lesson. They either have to just lift the game or no more use of taxis. That's it. I had enough. Everywhere I go in Sydney now, everywhere in Athens, I have Uber. I'll use them. Now, in a previous episode in Australia, we just brought you a story about the superfood. And what is a superfood? It's figs. Can you believe that figs are better than dates, better than any other dry food? We just brought you a recipe that you can make beautiful pie out of figs. Let's have a quick look.
Health benefits of dried figs. Weight loss benefits. Healthy hair. Hypertension and blood pressure. For constipation. Heart health.
But since we're in Corfu, guess what? We found the real McCoy at the markets. You can go to the Corfu markets and you can find this. It's called Siko Maida or fig pie. Yep. Now look at this. It's wrapped. Is it? No, actually, it's vine leaves. Look at that. And just a little bit of cotton, just to put it together. And Bob's your uncle. No, my uncle actually is Sam. It's not Bob. Yeah. Right, now look at this. Look at that. This actually can last for very, very long time. Believe it or not, because it's got preservatives. You know what we use for preservative? No, not that stuff. Ouzo. Like this one. The brand doesn't matter. It's a good ouzo, or ouzo dodeca. But, so we just slice it. And we just pick up a piece like that. Usually what we do with this kind of meze, we just use it with ouzo. Now look at this. This was made about 3 months ago. And look at it. It's so beautiful and fresh and ready to eat. You can keep it not in the fridge. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. And there it is. That beautiful slice. This is super food. When the time is for figs, you can use dry figs as well. Put them in a mixer and you can make this fig pie. Remember, add plenty of ouzo. Don't give it to the kids though. And don't drive. Don't eat and drive. This looks... I'll tell you what. Magic. Magic. All the beautiful taste of the figs, the ouzo, the glove and all the ingredients that we put in there, it's just oozing out of this thing. And you know, just one piece of this that big every single day, it would just keep you really healthy and really strong. So, fig pie, the best. Okay, I'm gonna finish this later with my ouzo, all right? But now, let's have a look at another subject, which I wasn't very impressed with Los Angeles. Now, in Sydney, I don't know, we do things different down there, different than LA. So for example, when we have a truck, and we have a load on a truck, it's illegal not to cover your load. It makes sense. Okay, I think we over-policed over there, but that particular thing, I think that they're pretty right, because it's dangerous. So, cover your loads. Otherwise, you pay a fine. That's in Sydney. That's in Australia. What happens in Los Angeles? Well, they have a lot of freedom there. But the question is that too much freedom good or bad? Is it positive or it could be negative? So for example, any truck that we looked at, it didn't have a cover load. Look at that. Look at these videos. Every single one of them. This one here is going right through the middle of Hollywood. This is the Hollywood. It's not just any place. And he's just full of garbage bags. All the way to the top. And he's driving in the middle of Hollywood with the load uncovered. Come on, guys. Come down to Sydney and we'll teach you some lessons. Okay, I think that you're missing out on that a little bit, my dear Angelinos. You have to do something about it. It's not too bad. Just put a fine. Why not? Follow our lead from Sydney. Yeah, cover your loads. Otherwise, you might cause an accident. Ooh, it's getting hot, guys. Come on, quick, quick. We have to hurry up because I have to finish my fig pie. This one. The superfood. Very easy to make. You can use dry figs and it's very easy to make. So, the next thing that I didn't like about LA is the condition of the roads. Alright, I'm not saying that here in Greece, for example, the roads are better. They're worse, much worse. They don't have the money, I don't know, a crisis or whatever, and the roads are really bad. In Sydney, they're not too bad. Some places they could do a little bit better, but they're not too bad. But over in LA, come on, guys, you know, you got this Hollywood, you got this Beverly Hills. You know, the roads haven't been surfaced for about 20 years or so. They're very dangerous because, you know, they're very slippery. They're really worn out. You can see now on your screen. When it rains, I suppose it hasn't rained for 5 years, so it doesn't really matter. But no, it is dangerous. So just resurface your roads. Come on, you make so much money, guys. Come on. Oh, it's Hollywood there. I don't know. Do you? You must. So a lot of the roads, condition, very bad. I mean, you go with the car and it just shakes like the snake that I'm gonna eat later on. So, no, I wasn't very happy with the roads. I think that's a minus for Los Angeles. So out of 10, I would just give only 4 for the roads. Some of the roads weren't too bad, but some of them, most of them. Another pretty negative point for Los Angeles, and it's losing a lot of the points to be the perfect city in the world, is the amount of homeless people that we've seen around. And it's pretty bad. Okay, we do have in Sydney homeless people as well. You can see them in Athens. And I think that it's a problem all around the world. Not just in Los Angeles or Athens or Sydney, but I wouldn't believe that in Hollywood, for example, you have people out there that they were just begging just outside in the beautiful footpaths there with all the stars. We went for a coffee, a horrible coffee, sorry, at Starbucks. Sorry, Starbucks. I don't know. They don't know how to make a proper espresso. Just go to Italy, have a look how they make it. Just get some Italians in. They can show you. But that coffee was horrible. And then they gave me that big spoon like this, the timber spoon. It was about that big. Yeah, like that. Oh, no, like the fish, that big. The fish I caught, it was that big. Yeah. What? The coffee. Yeah. Please do something about your coffee. Come on. This is America. This is America. We're the best. Or you're the best. Just something about your coffee. And then about your homeless. Okay, in Beverly Hills, they have an amazing system. They have the ambassadors. And they are there to look after the homeless. I think that's incredible. Why can't we just do it in other parts of the city? Why can't we just do it in Hollywood? You know, it doesn't take long. I mean, it's supposed to be a very rich city. Hollywood. It's Hollywood. Hollywood. Yeah? You should do something about it. I mean, you know, there's stains everywhere when you just go through the downtown Hollywood, the main city with the high-rise, beautiful city. Such an amazing city. Now, apparently these people are actually homeless because they came there to work, they did some work at Hollywood, and they were waiting for the next role, which didn't happen, and they spend the money, and they become homeless. But something needs to be done. It's very sad. Okay, the weather is much better than other places, so a lot of Americans, they move over to Los Angeles because of the weather as well. But I think that, you know, we have to do something about these people. I'm sure that there's something you can do, like they do in Beverly Hills. Okay, in Sydney too, we have the same problem. We have in Australia 125,000 homeless. In Australia, we're a very rich country. Or are we? we are not very rich. If we have homeless like that, we are not very rich. I understand it in Athens. There's a lot of migrants over there that they come illegally. And the center of Athens is full of illegal migrants and they're homeless. All right, so let's do something about that. And the final thing about Los Angeles, that was negative and it didn't score many points. No, it's not very important, but I don't know, for me it was funny because in Sydney, because of all the illegal parking and all the illegal fines that they get doing illegal things, they have so much money over there, and their signs are number one. In LA, they were a little bit, I don't know, flimsy. They just, had a little post about that big with holes in it or something. I don't know, like a flute. To me, it looked funny. It took out of the glamour. I mean, what difference does it make if you have a little post like this or if you have a proper nice post like, I don't know. It's just, to me, when you're in Beverly Hills, it needs to be perfect, absolutely perfect. And those two little things, the roads plus the signs, took a little bit out of that perfection. So instead of 10 out of 10, we give them 9.9. That's not too bad. It's not too bad. Let's go back to LA. And this time we're going to look at something amazing. These Angelinos are amazing. Angelinos are the people that they live in Los Angeles. Now, you're going to see a story that it's incredible. I just could not believe it myself. Let's have a look.
Hello, I'm Sofia Canugras from Los Angeles. I'm a native Angelino. And we're coming to you live right now from The Grove, which is an outdoor shopping center. By looking at it here and how exquisite it is, you would think it's a 5-star hotel. When you enter the concierge of this building, there's a waiting area with leather lounges. Perhaps you'd like to wait there for your partner, and in the meantime, you can have your shoes polished. This is just one of the special services and amenities that are provided here by the management. From there, you can also visit the restrooms. And here you can probably understand why we call these restrooms and not toilets here in Los Angeles. First, in the family room, there's a kids' play area to keep the kids busy. They even offer different size toilets. And of course, they do have a changing table for the baby. And for the ladies and the gentlemen, they offer fresh, clean towels and even some mouthwash if you'd like. As you come out, you'll see the beautifully decorated garden. They use recycled water here to keep the garden fresh and looking great at all times. So, you wouldn't believe this. You would think I'm in a 5-star hotel. Look at the cars here in back of me. But this is actually a parking lot. This is the true glamour and glitz of Los Angeles. I'm Sofia Canugras, and thank you for joining us.
Well, if you make it to any of these Greek islands like this one here where we're at the moment in Corfu, one piece of advice, just get yourself down to a local fishing port like this one here. Here you can see all the traditional Greek boats. Believe it or not, some of these boats, they just follow the same design from the ancient Greek boats. The same sort of design, the same construction, which is, thousands of years old. And they use them for fishing boats. And if you come here around about lunchtime, 11 to 12 o'clock, you can catch these guys when they come out with a fresh catch. And unlike in Australia or America, where you have to buy your fish from the fish markets, you can buy your fish from these guys here. You know that it's 100% fresh. And of course, you're going to pay much less than if you actually go to the markets and buy from the markets. We're waiting now for fishermen to come, and we're going to just take some fish. We're going to try to see if we can show you some local recipes using fish, of course, and fresh fish. So while we're waiting, another piece of advice. When you come to Corfu or to many islands like Corfu, remember, you can rent a boat and you can travel all around these beautiful islands. There's about 3 or 4 islands here in Corfu. Some of them are deserted. Some of them, they have tavernas, and you can actually go there. You can take your boat, you can rent your boat. The boats do around about $25 nautical miles, not just 4 nautical miles like they do in Australia. They have bigger engines. You can rent a boat with a 30 horsepower engine. You can go quite fast. And it's a real good way to just see Corfu. And not just Corfu, any of the islands around Greece. So it's a good piece of advice. Get yourself a boat, get your friends together. You can get one, even up to 8 people you can put in a boat. And you can have really good fun for a day, or you can even rent it for a week. Also, if you want to hire a bigger boat, like for example, you can hire a big sailing boat, 28, 30, 40, 50, even 60 foot. And you can just sail all around the Ionian Islands or down the Aegean Islands. You can get yourself, for very little money, if you have 6 people or 8 people, you can rent yourself a boat for about $1,000, maybe $2,000 per week, which is not a lot of money when you think you have your accommodation, you have your kitchen, and you have your little hotel, the floating hotel, and you can travel all around these beautiful islands. And the difference with Australia is that you can rent one of these boats without a skipper. So you can learn the basics, how to just sail the boat, and you can take it yourself. Of course, if you're an experienced sailor, that's even better. And that's another point of difference. I think that it's very important that we feel more free in Australia as well, and in America, and are able to rent a boat like this, like they do here in many places in Greece. I think they do the same thing in Turkey and Italy. I think we need to learn some lessons from these people. And another area, just to give you an example, where you feel very regulated in Australia, is when you have a boat. You have a nice big boat and you're in a marina, right? Now, you're not allowed to stay in that boat for more than 26 days per year. Here in Greece or even Turkey or Italy or even Spain, you have a boat, you can stay in the marina for as long as you like. You might have a boat that is 70 foot, it's like a house, 100 foot. You're not allowed to stay in Australia permanently, which I think is wrong. I think it's wrong because these restrictions make Australia and America actually is pretty much the same on that respect, and they just make them very restrictive and you don't feel free. Well, you come here in the Mediterranean and you do feel that kind of freedom. So when you come to Greece, think about it. Just get yourself a boat and just go around sailing around the Mediterranean. You will love it, trust me. But now, I think our fisherman is coming, so better go and grab our fish. This is going to be something with a difference. The fish we're going to get this time is going to be really different. You never experienced anything like it.